Hey loves, Tia here, and I'm doing this video as a kind of response to a lot of the questions that we get about our transition. So I'll start from the beginning. I did a lot of perm rod sets. That was like my staple, those cold wave rods. When I first started, I didn't know how to lay down my edges, and I didn't know how to match it up with my ends. 3 inches of natural hair compared to next to 15 inches of relaxed hair. What are you going to do? What I did was I did a lot of blow drying when I first started. And that was good. My hair was shiny and straight, and I just pulled it back with headbands, laid it down with satin scarf at night after I moisturized it. And that's a really good tip, to lay down your new edges, your new growth, and your blossoming natural hair. Buns are really good for laying down, the edges, get that sleek look. But after a while, when I got more hair growth, I more leaned towards matching up my relaxed hair with my natural hair. For some reason that was more important to me. I did notice immediately, as soon as I started transitioning, my hair was thicker when I blew it out. It was so much fuller. And that was great, because that was exactly why I started transitioning. My relaxed hair was too thin. I did a lot of stuff where I would do braid outs and then put the rollers, any rollers, on the ends of our hair, and a lot of moisturizing. I struggled with braid outs during my 8 month, 9 month. It was really hard because I couldn't figure out how to match up the stringy ends. As your natural hair gets to be more, you struggle with what to do with the long, stringy, relaxed hair. I did a few braid outs on T's hair, and I did a few corn braids and stuff to actually wear in a style. You just experiment with different things, just to have day-to-day styling with the two different textures. While we were transitioning, I used products like Herbal Essence, Totally Twisted, because I was veering more towards curly hair. Because T was wearing, she was flat ironing her hair 2 times a month, so she would use the Herbal Essence, the red bottle. I think the Long Term Relationship. I did a lot of buns to tuck my hair away, my ends away. I braided my own hair without extensions, and one trick to that, I blow dried my relaxed hair, or all my hair, on cold, and let the relaxed hair swell up, and moisturize it with some shea butter, and it stayed. So if any of you are interested in braiding your own hair without adding extensions, that's a really good trick to try. Um, Also, we used olive oil, coconut oil. I did deep condition with Silk Elements, as I love that stuff. I gotta look for a more natural alternative, because I'm into more natural hair products now, but I love that stuff. And we did a lot of shea butter mixed with mango butter, mixed with all the oils, just to keep the ends healthy. I do believe that our hair grew during this time, not only because we were going natural, but because we were moisturizing our ends religiously and making sure that they were kept moist, a lot of tucking away, but mostly that they were kept moist, then they wouldn't break. I did braid extensions on my hair. I played with that to give myself a break. One of my rules was that I would only use um, human hair, because the synthetic hair drained my hair of all the oils and stuff, and I had bad experiences with it. So I did have to pay extra and search high and low for somebody who knew how to do that. And there you see, I did it myself after I got irritated looking for somebody. But on some of them, they were done professionally. But I had fun with the braids as well. A lot of people ask us what products did we use when we were transitioning, but you really have to, this is where the product junkyism comes in. You have to search and find what your hair likes. Some of the stuff that my hair loved, T's hair and Dimple's hair, they did not like it. So I mean, that's fun. Get to know your hair, get to know what it likes, and also watch the ingredients. Another thing I did to make the transition easier was to trim my ends. When I found that my relaxed ends were getting tangly, I would just trim it, and that would stop them from tangling around each other, and it made for easier styling. You don't want to do that before you're going to put your braid up your own hair or twist up your own hair, because blunt ends do not hold well on braids or twists. But that is a good tip when you are doing like braid outs and when you're styling your own hair outside of braids or twists. Braids are a good way to give yourself a break during your transition when you're having problems, or, at a loss for time for working with the two different textures. That's okay. That happens. I like the extension braids because I could keep them in for 2 months and keep my hair moisturized, and I got a lot of growth from that. But anytime that you get frustrated with your hair, I think it's a really good idea. I used a lot of satin pillowcases, satin scarves to hold down my edges to preserve my style. If I found that the cotton ones drained all the moisture out of my hair, so I stopped using that right away. And I once my hair was like 5 inches, 6 inches of natural hair, then I would use the headbands to start doing my styling, because just the little thin headbands that I used to just pull back the edges with were not going to help the situation. I needed thicker ones. So that is something to consider. Another styling aid that I did was to chop off my bangs. I had bangs that were half natural and half transitioning. And once the natural section reached like to the bridge of my nose, I cut off the relaxed ends, and that let me be able to do styles like that with all natural bangs, and that was fun and sensible actually, because I could tuck away my back while they were still transitioning the back of my head, and I thought I was all natural. You couldn't tell me nothing. So if you notice at the beginning, I would veer more towards straightening my hair and using that as styling. As more of my natural hair grew out, that just wasn't even an option. It became so much more work. And also I just felt like I was destroying what I was trying to work for with all that heat. So we did a lot of braid outs in between to give our hair a break from the heat. And during this time, it wasn't just our hair changing, it was like our thought process of how to care for this type of hair, because neither of us had ever cared for this type of hair. Like I cared for her hair when she was a baby, but I really mashed it up, I'm sure. So so we both were learning together. We didn't really fret the length or the growth. The growth was coming while we were styling and having fun with it. We just tried to keep it healthy and keep it simple. So after 15 months, I jumped off the transition boat. I was just too excited to see my curly hair, but T took it well into over 2 years. And we've been getting a few questions about, is she natural? That's her hair with some relaxed ends, and you see how it just kind of blends in? And that's my hair when I did have the relaxed end. You see how it doesn't blend in? And that was her hair like a week ago, and there I can still see some straight portions. So yeah, she still has some stuff on the ends, but it doesn't make or break her style. She can wash and go with it because it does look a lot like her hair. I'm just going to keep trimming it as need be. But that just goes to show everybody's hair journey is going to be different. What one person can do, another person's doing different. So just enjoy your hair journey, and make it a pleasant experience, because it is a transition of not only the body but the mind as well. And we thank you guys for watching as always. We hope this helps any of the new transitioners out there, and any transitioners during your journey, as we were helped so many times.